Hello, everyone, and welcome back to episode 4 of the podcast. How you doing today, Maddie?
I'm good. I can't believe it's been 4 episodes. Also, we just want to give a little notification. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Just about how last week's episode, we know the audio got a little messed up, and we wanted to maybe try to re-record it, but then we were like, we felt what we said about like the whole K-pop thing was like really good, and so we just decided to upload it even though the audio wasn't perfect. So yeah, we're very sorry about that, but we are aware we're gonna try to make the audio better in the future. So yeah, sorry.
Yeah. So, I guess just a little, how's your week been? Did you do anything exciting this week?
It's been pretty good. I really haven't done anything. I haven't left my house in like 3 days, I feel like. It's not actually true, but it feels like it. I'm trying to think what I did that might have been fun. God, this is so embarrassing. Like every time I come on the podcast, I just realize that I literally do nothing throughout my week.
It's okay. I have a funny story of something that happened to you this past week.
Okay.
So, for everyone listening, Maddie has this weird, I don't even know what you would call it, like, relationship, phobia, anxiety, maybe anxiety is the best word.
Yeah, probably.
With, getting gas in her car, or the car that we share when I'm home. And it's been like this ever since Maddie had her, like, learner's permit and, like, wasn't even officially licensed. Like, she would get anxiety over the idea of getting gas, and then when she got her license, it became, like, a real, like, solidified thing because she realized that in order to drive a car, like, you do have to get gas to drive the car. And so it got to the point where Maddie gets so anxious that every time she goes to get gas, she has to FaceTime me to make sure that she gets gas in the correct way. And what's interesting about it is it's not even like getting gas is that complex of a process, and like Maddie knows all the steps to do to get to the gas, but she freaks out at the possibility of something like going wrong, or like what is the issue?
Okay, well, I just, like, already have, like, I guess anxiety would also be the word, about just driving in general. Like, every time I drive, I have to map out the exact place I'm going to in my head. Like, I have to know, like, and usually I do know where I'm going. I don't go many places, but, like, I have to know what the parking lot looks like. I have to know how I can park. Like, I need to know the whole situation before I drive, you know? And so I already have, like, anxiety about that. And then I've had, like, I don't even know when the first time I got gas was, but I had just like a bad experience, I guess. I feel like I just like was alone and maybe people were waiting behind me and I didn't know what to do and I was like just really stressed. And then I've had other experiences where like the gas tank hasn't been working, so like it wouldn't let me pour gas out, like, and then I just had like things where it's like you have to go in to see the cashier and it's like I'm not going to do that. So like every time I've just had to get gas, it's been a problem. And so then I would like FaceTime Sydney, and then like I just kept having good experiences when I was on FaceTime with Sydney, and so it just made me like feel like okay, like I can do it. And the thing is I do know how to do it, I really do, but I can't do it without FaceTiming.
Yeah, so this like past week, the reason why I brought this up is because Madi FaceTimed me this week while she was, like, getting gas, and she, like, it was a little bit of a debacle.
Let me say this. So the last time I got in gas, it was really easy, like really good. I did FaceTime Sydney, but after the FaceTime, I was like, I don't even think I have to FaceTime you anymore. Like, I really think I got it. And it was actually, was feeling just more confident in my driving overall, like being able to drive to different places and like going on the interstate was really easy, changing lanes and stuff, like basic stuff was just becoming a lot more easier and confident for me. And so I like was feeling really good. And then the other day, Oh, this is what it was, actually. Me and my mom went to put my dad's car in the dealership, and when we got it back, I was driving my dad's car, she was driving her car, and I stopped at a red light, because the right light was red, I can't speak, and it put me in park for some reason. The car did, but I didn't know it put me in park because like I just assumed I was holding the brake, and so when I let go of the brake, it didn't make me move, and so like the car was having problems, and then the car was basically it, like had a notice be like your engine is messed up, like you need to take it to the closest shop or whatever, and I'm literally figuring out there's so many people behind me. I'm on this like highway, so it's like not crazy busy, but it's like a pretty busy road normally. This is my biggest anxiety is like if I just stop, I can't drive in the middle of the road. People are behind me. I immediately, luckily, put my hazards on because like that's just one thing I like to how to do. And I'm trying to wave the person behind me to go around me because I don't know what to do. I pick up my phone and call my mom. Luckily, the person behind me was my mom. I didn't know it was my mom. There were people behind her, and I'm like calling her. I'm like, I don't know how to move the car. And then I finally looked and was like, oh my god, it's in park. And so I put it in drive, and it let me drive it. But there was something wrong with my dad's car because it obviously shouldn't be putting it in park randomly in the middle of the road. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, but that just really stressed me out. And that happened like Wednesday, and then I think it was that happened on Tuesday, and then Wednesday I drove my car to school. And my car just felt like it was kind of acting weird. I don't know what was going on. I just felt like really anxious about the whole driving that day. Like my car felt like it was like the brakes were working weird. And it totally probably wasn't. It was just me making it up in my head, you know?
Yeah.
And so then I'm on the way home and the gas light's on, and then the gas light turned off for some reason, which my parents told me it's just because like the gas like was moving, and so like in one direction it looked like it had enough gas, and then in other directions it didn't, you know what I mean? Like the tank was like shifting. And so they were like, it's fine if your gas light is on and then it turns off. But Sydney had told me, and I'm going to blame you here. I texted her being like, what happens if the gas light's on and then it turns off? She's like, you need gas right away. Where's the closest station?
That was not my tone.
It was over text. How was I supposed to know what your tone was?
I said you were like, what happens if it turns on and then turns off? And that had never happened to me before. And so I was just like, oh, it probably means that you should get gas soon. Like, just not being like, get it right now.
No,
but just
I know.
Like, just being like, don't go home and think you're going to be able to make it home. Like, stop at a gas station on your way home, basically.
Yeah.
So I didn't mean to freak you out.
Yes, and then I was like, oh my god, in the car, at that moment, literally Sydney texted me, and in my head, I totally probably making this up once again, my car felt like it was breaking down. Like, I felt like I could not drive. I was like, oh my god. Luckily, I actually was, like, literally right outside of, like, the last exit. I'm not trying to give away where we live, so like the last exit out to our house is where I was. So it basically was almost home, but there is a lot of gas stations right there. So I was like, I will just go get gas, and so I went and got gas. And then I pull up to the gas station, and I'm too far. And I FaceTime Sydney because like I need your help. Like I'm stressed right now, and I can't get gas when I'm already stressed and like So I FaceTimed her, and then we do the whole gas thing, and then I pull the pump out, and I parked too far away from the thing, so it doesn't reach my gas tank or whatever. And I'm like, oh my god. And so then I have to like get out, and so it's like, just pull forward. And I'm like, I can't pull forward. I pulled forward to the first, like the last thing. I can't pull forward anymore. So I have to like make a full U-turn, go to another one. Luckily there wasn't literally anyone there, so like that was okay. But then I finally like had to FaceTime her again, do everything, and I got gas. But it was so stressful.
Yeah, you were like exasperated. I was like, calm down, it's okay. Like
I was like, it was just one more thing after another would drive me, and I couldn't handle it anymore.
I get that though. That makes sense. I didn't know about the dad car thing. Like,
yeah, I did actually tell you that. But that stressed me out so bad. And then I had to drive my mom's car home because my mom took my dad's car back to the station, or like the place where you get it fixed. And so I drove my mom's car home, and my mom's car is humongous. And so I knew it's like the exit we were on, you had to merge on the interstate with a right merge. So like it's where your blind spot is or whatever. And I find that tricky in my own car. So I was like, I'm not taking the interstate home. So I took these like tons of back roads home. And luckily I knew the way fairly well, but that was still stressful. It was horrible, the whole thing.
So all that to say, Madi has issues with cars, which is so funny because I'm the complete opposite.
Yes.
Which is why I think Madi loves when I'm home, because I will basically take Madi anywhere she wants to go, and Madi doesn't have to drive, so she has no anxiety. But I love driving. Like, driving is so therapeutic to me. There is like literally nothing better. Like if I'm in a bad mood, like I just go on a drive, and it's just like I immediately feel better. So it's just so funny that it relieves my anxiety, but causes Maddie so much. So.
Well, and the thing is, I like going on drives with you while you're driving. Like, sitting in the passenger seat, that relieves my stress, you know what I mean? Like, it's great, and I'm not disagreeing, but I don't like being in the back seat because I do get motion sickness. But, like, that, I love being in a car. My whole childhood, I feel like I was always in a car with my mom. But, so, like, I do like it. It's just being in the driver's seat and stuff really stresses me out. And sometimes I do have okay days for driving, and I'm like, oh, this was, like, nice. Like, I have my good music on. It's, like, a nice day outside, and it does, like, feel stress relieving. But then other days, it's, like, the most chaotic, stressful thing in my entire life.
Yeah, I get that. Well, I mean, I don't, but, like,
I breathe after that.
Yeah, you okay?
Like, exhausted just talking about it.
Okay. Well, there was also another thing that we realized this week while we were on FaceTime. Well, I watched your private Snapchat story because Madi has a private Snap story, and
which is very great.
Okay.
Not me shouting out my own private story.
I can't. But it was so funny because I had been thinking about this before, and then I saw Maddie's private story, and she was talking about the same thing that I had been thinking about, and I was like, oh my gosh, I agree with this. And it was funny because Maddie was like, this is a hot take, but that was a really big build-up for something that's not that exciting, but basically...
Yeah, it's really not. It's almost lame. Like, that's the sad part.
Okay, basically, we were talking about how we think it might be a controversial opinion, but we both like the new thing on YouTube, like the YouTube, like, shorts or whatever they're called, that are basically, like, Instagram Reels or, like, TikToks. Mm-hmm. They're, like, 15-second little, like, videos that, like, show up on, like, your home, like, recommended page. But Maddie and I both really like them. And it's so funny because, like, they know what they're doing. Like, they, like, reel you in with the clickbait titles.
The thing I think that, I don't think it's actually better than TikTok because I do love TikTok, but the thing is, it's like, you were just scrolling to watch a YouTube video, and then you see that, like, it's like an interesting looking thumbnail, it's got a great title, and you're like, it's only like 10 seconds long, let's just see what it is, you know? And you click on it, and then you're like, oh, well, let's see what I just accidentally scrolled down, like, let's see what the next one is, you know what I mean? And, like, the comments are actually pretty funny, and, like, I like them.
I like it too, because it's kind of like different content from TikTok. It's like TikTok, you have like your algorithm. I feel like on YouTube it's more based on like videos you've already watched, so it's like content very specifically tailored to your like YouTube sub box and like watch history. So it's like, I don't know, I feel like I watch different things on YouTube than like I like to see on TikTok. So it's just like, I don't know, it's just like fun. I know some people find them annoying, but I kind of like it.
I kind of like it too. I do have a couple problems with it. I don't like the like system. It like, you have to like act like you like the YouTube video. Like, it's the same as that. Like, you can't just like double click it or whatever. And then I don't like how, so like, it gives you like a ton of options at the front of like your homepage, and I just like click on one usually, and then I scroll down. But when I scroll down, it's not the other options on the thing. It's like videos more related to the one you just watched. And so instead, I'll see like the 3 on my homepage, and I'm like, oh, I want to watch all 3 of those. But then I end up scrolling down because like that's my natural habit. So, but then I have to like scroll out to get to the other one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not like a feed system really. It's
no, it's not. But that also is nice, though, because then you're like, oh, I like this video, let's see more exactly similar to those videos, you know?
Yeah, that's true. It's very much like the autoplay YouTube recommended thing, so it's just a different type of algorithm. But, yeah, I thought it was interesting that we both liked those.
I think it really is, like, the K-pop edition. Because I was never going to click on a YouTube or short before, like, I saw any, like, good, exciting thumbnails of, like, Minecraft or something, you know? But, like, these TikTok ones, like, it's like, or not TikTok, these, like, K-pop ones that they get with the thumbnail and stuff, I'm like, oh my god.
I know. It's, like, so good, too, because I know every time when I go to click this video, like, there'll be some clickbait thumbnail and stuff, and I'm like, this is obviously not what the video is about, but like, I still click it and watch it, and I'm like, yeah, the video wasn't about that, but like, that was kind of good, like, okay, like, get their coin.
We're like, okay, yeah.
I was like, it was only like 8 seconds, like, what was it gonna do?
Mm-hmm. And the thing is, the thumbnails are always like blurry or like out, like really low quality things, and that just like intrigues you. You know what I mean?
They like blur them and put like bubble text like over the top, and you're like, oh, what is that? So,
but yeah, I recommend giving YouTube Shorts a try, everyone. I'm a fan.
Yeah, for sure. The other big thing that we haven't talked about on the podcast, but that we've been really into. I mean, we're into, when it comes around, but
yeah,
this year specifically, there's been lots of things to talk about regarding this, but we're a big Olympic family, so our whole family really enjoys both the Summer and Winter Olympics. Me and my sister, and Madi a little bit before she quit, but me and my sister were competitive swimmers for a good chunk of our childhood, so we always loved watching like swimming in the Summer Olympics, and we love like gymnastics and all that stuff, and we really branched out as we've gotten older into like watching new sports, but we also love the Winter Olympics, and Madi and I specifically love figure skating, so we really wanted to talk about it, and kind of just now that like the figure skating at the Olympics is done, we kind of wanted to like give our thoughts, our feelings, our opinions, and kind of just dive into it a little bit.
Yeah, I do want to say I've seen it. Like, I know Laurel sent one to our family group chat, older sister, but I've seen a lot of memes which are so funny, and it's like Summer Olympics are like, oh my god, is she gonna nail the flip? Oh my god, are they going to do this? Oh my god, Winter Olympics is like, are you gonna die or not for your sport? Like, are you gonna fall off the mountain or something? Like, it's so fun. Winter Olympics are insane. Like, these athletes are literally like, I can't even. It's crazy. Like, I mean, I know a big like snowboard or like any of the skiing ones, but I just sometimes see them and it's crazy impressive. Like, I literally like, what the heck?
No, I love skiing and snowboarding, like watching it. It's just like, I almost feel like in some way they're like wizards or something. Like they're like, they have magic powers. Like, I'm the muggle in Harry Potter, and like they're the cool kid wizards that can like defy gravity. I'm like,
no, they literally float. Like, what the heck?
I know.
And I didn't even know this because I watched the men's, I think, is it just called snowboarding? The ones where they do like what Shaun White does?
The half pipe?
Yeah, that. I watched the finals for that, and I didn't even know they get 3 runs because it's like most of the time they don't land their tricks because they're that hard. Like, I didn't even know that. That's crazy.
Yeah. And, like, usually the first run is, like, the practice run. Like, it gets scored, but they usually, like, sometimes they don't even attempt all their tricks on the practice run.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Because that's what happened to Chloe Kim. She scored, like, she landed her trick, and she did not expect to on her practice run, and, like, got, like, a 97 or something crazy. I don't know the exact score.
She's crazy.
And then did her 2 other runs, but didn't land her trick either time, but she still got a gold medal on her practice run. Like, that's insane.
I know. That's so cool. I would feel so great. Like, after the first run, I did amazing. I could just be like, oh, I'm going out for fun now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm sure it alleviated some pressure, but I'm sure she also still wanted to, like, try and see if she could do better.
Yeah.
Okay, but anyway, back to figure skating.
The main event.
the clear-cut winner for us in the Winter Olympics.
For sure.
So
men's was first. Let's just go for men's because it's fairly easier to talk about than the women's.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff with the women's that we'll get into.
Yeah, but so the men's was like last week. We watched both the short programs and the free programs.
Free
like
skate,
the qualifiers. Yeah. First of all, just a random question. Do you like the free skates or the short programs better?
I think I almost like the short program. It depends. It's like...
Yeah, it definitely depends on who it is.
Who's skating, and also what type of vibe you like to, like, I don't know. I think, like, the free skate's definitely more, like, creative in the sense of, like, music choice, like, all that kind of thing. Like, it seems, like, a little more, like, lighthearted, and I think the short program is more, like, the art.
Get as many tricks in
the
as
trick
you can.
like meets like artistry. Like it's much more technical, I feel like.
Yeah, I agree.
So it just depends. Also, like, let's just preface this. Maddie and I know very little about the, like, the technical side of figure skating. We're just completely offering our opinions, which could be totally incorrect. So just bear that in mind. Like,
we 100% need to say that.
Like, we act like we know what we're talking about, but, like, we literally don't. We just look at something and we're like, wow, that is really impressive. Like, good for them. Like, okay. So we definitely are not experts. Let me say that. So, yeah. From watching it, the short program looks, to me at least, more, like, technical. So it just depends on, like, what mood I'm in, sort of. Like, for, like, Yuzuru, like, I love his short program.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But I like Nathan's free skate because I think you get to see him have more fun. And I like that. But it changes based on the skaters and everything. So
I think I'm more of a free skate enjoyer, but I mean, at the end of the day, I love them all. Honestly, I watched the gala last night, which we'll probably also talk about, and those are my favorite skates. And it honestly is probably because they're not competing for the Olympics in those skates, and like they're not doing their crazy tricks. They're just really mainly having fun and like showing their artistry. But those were really great. But anyways, back to the men's skating. So Nathan Chen won the gold from Team USA. We are big supporters. I know people had their opinions about Nathan and whatever, but we love Nathan, and I think he did amazing this competition.
Yeah. No, I mean, you can't deny, especially with Yuzuru's, like, mistakes that we'll get into, but, like, he was the most deserving at this Olympics. He had the best performance, technically, and, you know, you can't deny that he excels at the sport. And I think that he really, I mean, he was the front runner this whole, you know, past couple years, especially with his issues in Pyeongchang 4 years ago. You know, he felt like he had a lot to prove, but he was the gold for me, for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I just think he needs better costumes, and we'll be good.
Here's the thing. I said this to Madi the other day. I firmly believe Nathan Chen's costumes are ugly. But if I see, like, one more Twitter troll or one more TikTok being like, Nathan, you look so hideous, like, you are a gold medalist.
No, it's not even that. It's like the TikToks about him winning the gold medal, and all the comments are just about how ugly his outfit is.
I know. I'm like, okay, yes, his outfits are ugly, but I'm the only one who can say his outfits are ugly. If I see anyone else in a public platform attacking this man for his costume design, I'm gonna be upset.
Yeah.
I'm like,
And also, like, blame Vera Wang.
I know, I'm like, let's not discredit this man because his costumes suck. Like, I know they're ugly, but, like, it looks like the one orange one he wore, it literally looked like a swim shirt.
It looks like a Dorito.
No, it looked like a swim shirt. Like a rash guard.
I mean, I know, but it looks like a rash guard that looks like a Dorito on it.
Yeah, it wasn't the best, but we still love you, Nathan.
Yeah, for
Just,
sure.
you know, maybe switch it up.
Yeah, come on. And then I think our not next favorite, but one of our, like, favorites that we kind of mentioned is definitely Yuzuru Ohanu. We are big stans, and we really wanted to see him land the quad axel, but he came so close to it that, like, honestly, I think he landed in my mind, you know?
Yeah, I mean, he got credited for the first attempt in an international competition or at the Olympics or whatever, so, you know, he still got the recognition for that, which is awesome. And he's just so beautiful to watch, like, on the ice. I don't know, I, like, can't even put it into words. Like, he's just so graceful. And
I saw a tweet the other day, and it was like, there's just not enough adjectives to explain how Yuzuru skates, you know? Like, you just, like, can't explain it.
I know, it's just so crazy, because it's like, the fact that someone can look that elegant on ice is just, like, mind-boggling to me. Like, I could never look that elegant on land if I, like, tried. But it's like, this man is, like, out here killing it. And he's just, like, he just seems like a sweetheart, so.
No, yeah, he totally is the cutest person in the entire world.
He didn't have the best run. I mean, he still did amazing, but I'm sure for him, like, he had wished he had performed better, obviously. because, he didn't medal. But I just think he is incredible, and, like, what he continues to do for the sport is just awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he is amazing, and I don't think we'll probably see him at the next Olympics. He said in a recent interview, like right after the gala, that he's going to continue skating, but he doesn't know if he will make it to the next Olympics or whatever. I know he also has an ankle injury that he was dealing with toward the end of the week this week. And he was like, yeah, it's really bad, but I'm skating. But, so yeah, I mean, I hope we see him a little more, and that's not the end of his run, because we're big Yuzuru fans, and he's, like, just the greatest, there's no undenying that.
Yeah. For sure. I'm trying to... Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, is there anyone who you, like... I mean, I didn't know basically most of these skaters before I came into the Olympics, but is there anyone that, like, you found during the Olympics, at least the men's, that you were like, oh, you seem sick, and I like you?
I really like Shuma Umo. Is that how you say it?
Sumo Uno. Yeah,
Shuma Uno.
I think so, yeah.
I really liked him. He just looked like he was so, like, happy and, like, enjoying. And, like, I love that. I love when you can see how much passion an athlete has for, like, their craft and their sport, and, like, how proud they are to be, like, at the Olympics. And, like, I just love seeing people, like, take in every moment of that, and
yeah,
he really did. And I think he skated, like, phenomenally, so.
Oh, yeah. He was amazing. Yeah, I really liked him, too. I also really liked, I'm going to name 3 people. Keegan Messing, the Canadian skater. I liked his skating because he was just really fun, but also every single day, even if it was like men's, women's, any skating, he was there in the audience, and he brought a ginormous Canadian flag, and he would wave it around. It was humongous. And he was like, I feel like this man is the only Canadian at the Olympics, because he was like representing so hard, and it was just very wholesome and amazing to see. I just really loved looking out for the Canadian flag every night. So he was awesome. I also really liked, I don't entirely remember his first name. I want to say it was Michael Donovan. Something Donovan. I know. He was the... Oh my god. Spanish? I think he was from Spain. Oh my god. I can't believe I don't... Let me honestly look him up.
Who? Was it the one... Was it the Mexican with the...
Oh, Mexican.
The mall?
Yes. Yes. Let me... Donovan Carriello. Yes, he was like the first Mexican figure skater in like 30 years to make it to the Olympics. And he was just so cute and happy to be there. Like, honestly, what a sweet guy. Like, they showed a story about him, how he practices at the mall, like a figure skating arena, because that's like the only one they have like in Mexico. And he literally has to like take breaks during it, and because like people go on there with him. Like, oh my god, I just was so happy. He made it to the free skate, which was really awesome, so we got to see him perform again, and he just seemed like such a sweet person, and so happy to be there.
Yeah.
And then my last one is this Korean skater. His name is Cha Jun Hwan. I don't know if I'm pronouncing any of these names right, but he was just really cute. Like, I thought he was very attractive, and yeah, and there's this cute moment of him and Yuzuru where he was leaving, and then Yuzuru says hello or goodbye to him in Korean, and it's a very sweet moment, and I was like, they're just so cute. But yes, I liked him a lot too, and he was a great skater, obviously.
All right.
But yeah, the men's was very fun, and it was a good time. Now let's go to the traumatic, horrifying event that was the women's, honestly.
Yeah, it was bad. Yeah. It was, like, I don't even know where to start.
And also, I want to break this first. 1, just in general, we don't know Russian. 2, we don't entirely know what what the skaters are thinking. We don't, know the reasoning behind every decision that was made. We don't know everything, obviously. But I feel like we do know a pretty decent amount, so we just kind of want to talk about it a little.
Yeah, and also, if you don't know what we're going to be talking about, you should definitely, there's tons of articles about it now. Like, you should definitely, like, go look at it after you listen to this, because it's very interesting and unfortunate and intense and just, like, a crazy thing that happened.
Yeah.
So, I guess we should start from Camila.
Yeah.
And her situation.
Did you want me to do this part?
Yeah.
Okay, so from what I know, Camila is a Russian skater. She's 15 years old, and I think what happened was, I saw this in a Twitter thread, so once again, I don't know if it's entirely true, but either she was doing, and I can't exactly think of the drug she was doing, it was a heart drug to help her with her heart. And I think they said she did it, though, in end of December, but she may have been doing it at the Olympics, too. I can't remember. But it still is not allowed. Obviously, you can't do drugs while you're at the Olympics, or to help you get to the Olympics. You can't do drugs, like, in the process to get there. But she competed in the team event the week before the men's, and they won gold, Russian did. And then she took a drug test, and that drug was found in the test, obviously, so she failed it. And then they basically said that they started an investigation and stuff, and they said they're going to hold all of Russia's medals for now. And then, like, a week later, they said she can skate in the women's finals, which was very controversial. What is the word?
Yeah, controversial.
And so, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, basically, she tested positive for a banned substance while she was at the Olympics. And then the Olympic Council decided, and, like, the head of the national or international figure skating community or whatever, decided that they were going to allow her to skate following the positive drug test.
Oh, and the reasoning mainly behind that was because she's 15, and the responsibility then falls onto the people around her and adults around her, so, like, her parents, her coaches, and stuff like that. So technically they can't blame her. And it was also a thing of how her test was at like the perfect time, so they had enough time where she was, like, cleared and she was able to compete. So it basically worked the system, so she was still able to compete in the women's finals, which is unallowed.
Yeah. And it just sparked up a lot of anger from the figure skating community, and specifically anger in the camps of the competing figure skaters at the Olympics and, you know, the competitors. And then also, like, the larger figure skating community, like, internationally, like, on Twitter and all those things. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, you acknowledge that this girl is a 15-year-old. Like, she's a minor. And, yes, it isn't, you know, she needs to have good people around her, like coaches and parents that know the information that she may not know because she's 15. But you also have to realize that it's very easy to know what banned substances are for the Olympics, and somebody dropped the ball or, you know, intentionally thought it wouldn't be a big deal to do it. And, you know, there has to be consequences for that, unfortunately. And do I think that it was entirely her decision to take the drug, her decision to do that? Probably not. But do I still think that you have to hold up to the rules and be accountable? I mean, yes, because then at what point does it become a slippery slope where you're making exceptions for certain circumstances but not others? If she really needed that drug, she could have got a therapeutic use exemption to use the drug at the end of the day.
And I also I know the Olympic Committee said that for her not to skate, it would cause her irreparable harm. But what's really interesting is I think her skating and physically embarrassing herself and her whole team and everyone and causing all the problems that she did, and she's gonna now have irreparable harm from competing. They should have sent her home with people and therapists and stuff to help her go through this process, and they should have gotten her the help she needed and punished the people that did this and whatever and sent her home, you know what I mean? Like, and then it wouldn't have been as horrible harm. Like, I didn't get how her not skating would cause irreparable harm. Like, I don't understand that. And they made that, like, very clear that that's the reason why she's skating, because it's gonna cause harm. Like, are you serious?
Yeah. I just think it's so interesting, like, too, like, a lot of people, when this first went viral on Twitter, like, the news broke, everyone was really comparing her situation to Sha'Carri Richardson's, and it is crazy. It just sort of seems like, I mean, it's different sports, you know, different things. There's a lot of other variables.
Different drugs.
Yeah, but it's also like, you know, why are we making exceptions for certain things and not for other things? Like, we need to be consistent across the board. And I don't know, I think Johnny Weir and Adam Rippon really talked about this when they released their statements. But, you know, the whole point of the Olympics is that you make it as fair as it can be, and it's to showcase the talent of these individuals who don't use substances and other things to enhance their abilities. And Adam Rippon even said, he was like, what makes Camila a great skater cannot be enhanced by a drug. So why they felt the need to use that drug to begin with says a lot about, you know, what they think about, you know, figure skating.
And that's basically what they had said. And then they had also said if Camila did get on the podium, that they would not hold a ceremony for the medalist. And basically meaning, to be fair, they probably assumed that the three Russians would all three place on the podium. So it would have just, the Russians wouldn't have gotten that experience. But still, if you never know, it's the Olympics, you never know what's going to happen. If any other person had, or country or skater had placed, they would have not had that experience of getting their Olympic medal at the podium and having the whole ceremony. And that's where I think it's just so, it's crazy how they're making, like, adjustments around a person who is not clean. She's not a clean athlete, and they're, like, causing, like, making problems for these clean athletes that worked their asses off to get to the Olympics, you know what I mean? And they don't get to have their, like, full experience. And they still didn't because of the whole controversy that this caused, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's completely overshadowed the entire women's event at the Olympics, and it's just unfortunate because so many women worked so hard to get to the Olympics, and their experience was kind of tainted and overlooked because of all the controversy with the Russian skaters, which there's still more to unpack.
Yes.
So
basically, she ends up skating. They obviously made the main front runners make it past to the free skate, and the free skate happens, and let's say, paint the picture. We're currently, Camila has just finished skating. She, in first place right now is, I'm just going to say their first names also because I don't know how to pronounce their last names, is Anna. She's another Russian skater. Second place is Alexandra or Sasha. And then third place is Corey, a Japanese skater. And now Camila just finished her skate. She fell quite a couple times. It was not like her best thing. She is obviously under a ton of pressure. And she immediately gets off the rink and is crying, and her coach, which I think we definitely need to mention, and like, because I would personally put a lot of the blame onto her, but her name is Atiri, what's her last name?
Tuberitse.
Atiri Tuberitse. She immediately goes up to her and starts yelling at her, why'd you fall? Why didn't you push through it? What happened? Like, why did you fall? This 15-year-old is crying because she's under immense pressure and she can't, like, she's gonna fall, you know what I mean? Like, how could you not? Anyways, they get their scores, and she places in fourth. So the first three people that I said are the medalist. And she's obviously crying, and the coaches are comforting her. And then we take a look at the three medalists that did place, and silver, or
Bronze.
bronze. Kahori is so happy, and she is sobbing and is with her coaches and team, and it's like so sweet to see. Like, that is the only good thing that we could literally talk about in this story right now. So we have to, like, just, you know, she's so well deserved. Like, so happy for her. She deserves every second of that, you know? Mm-hmm. And then in the silver medalist is Sasha, and obviously, once again, we don't know Russian and we don't know what she was thinking, but at least from what we can tell, she's definitely throwing a tantrum. She's screaming and crying and pushing people away from her, and we have thought it's over how she didn't win the gold. I don't know. You want to take it from here?
Well, that's like seeming to be the general consensus from news outlets and everything, is that she was upset over the fact that she didn't place first, and she was basically being like, why didn't I win gold? Like, you know, just saying things. Like, I'm sure she was emotional and being like, I should have won. I think also she's older than the two, than Camilla and Anna. And so I think she was also like, I'm the oldest, like, why aren't I, like, placing first? You know, I think she just had a lot of emotions. And
I also think, oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I also think cut her a little slack. It was a high-intense environment. All the Russian skaters had faced a lot of, you know, intensity from the media in the past couple days, and I'm sure it was very stressful. Like, the Olympics is stressful to begin with, and adding all of this on top makes it stressful, and she's young. So I'm willing to give her some benefit of the doubt in this situation, but we'll get into it. But you can say what you were going to say.
I also think, I know her, like, I feel like they were also saying when this was happening that, like, she was more upset that Camilla didn't end up placing and making the podium, and I know they all are friends, but I don't necessarily think that was the situation, just because, I mean, I just don't think that was the reasoning necessarily behind why she was so angry, you know? I also think her coaches probably told her that because she did, like, 5 axles and 5 quads or whatever what she did was, because she's a crazy, like, jumper and, like she can do really good, like, tricks and stuff, but she kind of lacks in the artistry, I'm not gonna lie. I think they basically told her if you just land those, you'll win the gold. And she did, and she didn't win the gold. So she was, like, mad at her coaches because they told her, like, stuff that wasn't true. And she was just, like, overall, like, very mad. And she was refusing to go on to get her medal, or, like, I don't think it was a medal, but I think it was, like, the little ceremony thing they do at the end. She's saying, I don't want to go, screaming, crying, like, mascara, running, like, very crazy, pushing people away. And yeah, it was just really, it was really crazy to see. And we, like, I almost think, like, they probably should have been also shoving the camera in her face, because we basically saw all of it, you know?
Yeah, and then, like, the saddest part of all is after the scores are announced, you know who placed first, second, third. It's probably, like, 10 minutes before you even see the skater that placed first in the women's at the Olympics, and it pans over to her after you catch, Corey crying and, the Russian catastrophe of the figure skaters, like Camila crying, like Sasha crying, and, all the coaches comforting them. You pan over, and sitting on the couch holding what, like a teddy bear? What is she holding?
Yeah, a little plushie, yeah.
Is Anna, silent, stone face, seemingly like staring at, like, the ground, just, like, downcast, like, almost like she's having, like, an out-of-body experience, like, completely silent, no emotion, by herself. And it's like, she just won the gold medal at the Olympics, like, she has no emotion, and it's just, it's crazy, because it's like, you have two thoughts. You're like, one, does she have no emotion because she's afraid to react given all the chaos that's around her? Or does she have no emotion because her entire life in the sport has been so toxic to where she's just, like, numb to it all? And it's like, you can't even decide which one is more sad because it's just, like, crazy.
Yeah. It's so sad. And then, like, at one point, she just stands up and is still... it's the way she's just holding this plushie, and she just is, like, looking. Like, she's looking at Corey, like, crying with her team. She's looking at the catastrophe that is all the Russian skaters and coaches, and she's literally just standing there. And, like, I think maybe 15 minutes in, some coach or some guy comes up to her and gives her a hug, and, like, that's the first time she's congratulated after 15 minutes of her knowing she has the gold, which is crazy. Like, crazy.
Yeah.
And then they finally get all of them a little cleaned up, and they go out on this rink, and they get, like, a little, like, teddy bear thing, I don't know what it was, and flowers or something. It's not the medal ceremony, because that was the next day, but, and then you just have the silver medalist, again, holding her little thing, and just flipping off everyone. And, like, honestly, it's pretty funny, because, like, that's, like, hilarious, but, like, also, like, oh my god, like, that is crazy, like, oh my god, like, I don't know who she was necessarily flipping off, if it was the judges and stuff that she didn't score her accurately, or if it was her coaches, or I don't know, you know, but it was such a mess.
Yeah, the whole thing was a mess, and it also has just, like, a lot of people have really been talking about Atiri Tuberitse because she's the coach to all three of these girls, and, you know, when you observe this whole experience, it seems very easy to make the conclusion that they are in a toxic environment. Mm-hmm. And, you know, Atiri is, like, supposed to be their trusted support system who's, like, coaching them through this experience. But, like, you know, you have one athlete throwing a tantrum because she doesn't win gold. You have another athlete testing positive for a banned substance. And then you have another athlete win gold and be completely devoid of emotion and, you know, happiness and joy. It's like, you know, you have a responsibility as their coach to be a safe space for them. And so a lot of people are really begging for an investigation of Atiri to make sure that there's no, you know, we can't make assumptions, but just ensure that there's no abuse occurring to these young women.
And to be fair, she does not have a great reputation. A lot of the athletes she has coached have retired at 19. And yes, obviously women's figure skating has a really low, like, age. Like, I know people made jokes about the U.S. skater Mariah Bell being, like, an old person skating when she's 25. Like, yeah. They were like, she's ancient, but, like, she's 25, you know? So I know that is, like, a thing in the women's skating at least. But all of her skaters have retired at least under 19, like 19 or younger, you know what I mean? Because of eating disorders or injuries, or just, like, they are burnt out. And it's like I'm really curious, and also, like, it's going to be really sad if these skaters who went this year to the Olympics, will we see them again at next year's Olympics or stuff, you know? Like, I am really interested, and it will be very sad if we don't, to be fair.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just, it was crazy, honestly. I feel like everything went wrong for the event. Like, yeah. It was just unfortunate that the whole women's event was overshadowed by all these unfortunate circumstances. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I know we wanted to briefly talk about, like, kind of steering away from the more negative aspect, but last night was the closing gala that I didn't watch. I caught the highlights, but I know you watched. So I didn't know if you had thoughts about it that you wanted to.
I do, actually. It was honestly, like, as horrible as, like, the last week it's been with the women's and, like, just everything going on. It was really, really nice. Also, I didn't watch any of, like, the skating or, like, the duos or the ice dance pairs, and honestly, I'm still, like, not the biggest fan of them. But I got to see a lot of their performances, which was fun, and I just love that stuff. And because it's like they look like they're just having fun because like they don't have any real pressure that on them, and they're not having to do their crazy hard tricks because like it's the gala, you know, like they're not like they're not required to do any of that. And the lighting and like the graphics that they put on the rink were beautiful, and like the pretty 2022 where they all walked out of was great, and just all the performances were really fun. And then the end they had a little thing all together, and it just like it was like, okay, like figure skating is okay, you know, even after like this horrible thing that happened and like the whole community was outraged. Like I feel like it grounded everyone again and was like, we got this, you know. But it was very good.
Yeah. Everyone just seemed so much happier, and like it seemed like, you know, like light was brought back into the sport, and it just reminded people of like the spirit of figure skating, and that it's supposed to be like fun and beautiful, and you know, it doesn't need to be this super intense, unfortunate thing. So I thought it was a good way to sort of bring some light to the recent dark days of figure skating.
And I just want to talk about this real quick because I didn't know it until after. But one of the U.S. women skater, her name is Alyssa Liu. She is adorable.
Oh yeah, she's so cute.
I think she's like 17, but she didn't know she would be invited to the gala by the end of the Olympics, so she didn't bring another routine. And so literally like the night couple before, someone taught her one. She borrowed a costume from another old skater, Team USA skater, like one of the partners' costume. A couple other girl skaters did her hair and makeup for her. Like it was very sweet, and she actually danced to ITZY, which is one of the K-pop groups that I like know, and like I don't stand them, but like they're in JYP and stuff and good friends with the groups I stand. But, so it was so cool. And the performance was so good. I, like, loved it.
I think, too, that, again, highlights the spirit. Like, everyone being like, we'll help you. Like, we're going to make this work. Like, it's just supportive and, like, wholesome, which is, like, what it should be at the end of the day. Like, it should just be overwhelmed with love, I think.
And there's this last little thing I want to talk about. It was actually in the practices, but there's, like, the Olympic mascot, and I think his name is
Penguin,
Bing Jane Wen or something like that, but he's like a little penguin, and he was on the skate because he came out in the end, and there's one moment he like is skating by Yuzuru, and Yuzuru goes, do an axel, and it's like the cutest thing ever, and the penguin like just looks at Yuzuru and goes with this like hand, and he's like, no. Aww. And then like when they did it in the main performance, they like he like fell a couple times, and they all like tried to pick him up, and then they like accidentally pushed him down. Like, it was just barely cute, and that was like very fun and wholesome.
I love that. All right, so with that, we are going to close this discussion on the Olympics and with figure skating, and now we're gonna move into something a little more random and fun, and just something fun for us to do.
Yes.
So we're going to do 2 games, but the first we're going to do is BTS superlatives. So Madi has prepared a bunch of questions that I have not seen, and we're going to basically assign a member of BTS to the question, and it kind of has to be like the first member that pops in our head. And we'll offer, like, a brief description of why we think that. And we're going to alternate who goes first, so.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah, am
I saw a
answering
TikTok
first?
of this. Yes.
Okay.
I saw a TikTok of this. Just want to give credit. I don't know their usernames, but they did it with 17 members. And I was like, this would be really funny for the podcast, so I took it from them. Okay?
All right.
So, the first question is, which BTS member do you think you could take in a fight? 3, 2, 1.
Jimin.
Mine would be Yoongi.
Oh, shoot. No, you're right. Because
but to be fair,
I was thinking Jimin, because, like, you know, he's, like, small and cuddly, but, like, also Jimin does still work out, so, like, he probably is way stronger than he looks, but also I feel like Jimin wouldn't want to, like, hurt me, so he would just, like, kind of, like, run away.
Also, who I think would be pretty easy would be, like, Jin. Like, my man, I could just I don't even know how I would go about fighting him.
I feel
but
like,
also, like,
I don't know, I feel like you would, like, tap him and he'd be like, oh my god, like, he would be so dramatic.
But also, I feel like I couldn't do many things that would make Jin mad to, like, fight me, you know what I mean? Not that I would with Yoongi, but still.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Okay, next one. I'll answer it first.
Okay.
Which member could you beat in an eating contest? 3, 2, 1, Jimin.
I literally don't have an answer. Maybe Jin. I don't know. Whoever eats the less, because they eat.
Freaking Jungkook
Yeah.
and Namjoon eat.
I
The easiest part was like, eliminate them.
No, I thought I was in my head. I was like, well, definitely not Jungkook, but
Yeah, I don't really know. Okay, this one's for you first.
okay.
Which BTS member would get along with your parents the best? 3, 2, 1.
Jimin.
Namjoon.
Oh well, okay. Namjoon knows the most.
But not because
English.
not because of that.
Oh, okay.
I think Namjoon would be a great person to bring to your parents. To be fair, they all would, but
I think different. I think honestly, Yoongi would get along with Dad because they could bond over
yeah.
sports,
Mm-hmm.
and then Mom would just like all of them because she'd just be like, they're all so freaking cute.
Yeah, sure.
That's what Mom says about every boy ever. She's like, he's so cute.
Okay, I'll answer. We did this one as practice. Okay. This one's so random. Which member of BTS would you run into at Trader Joe's? Okay, 3, 2, 1, Hobie.
Jin.
Okay, but don't you think Hobie?
Yeah, I kind of was thinking that at first, and then I was like, I don't know.
Like, he's just really, like, expensive to me, so, like, he would shop at Trader Joe's.
Trader Joe's
you know?
is not that expensive.
No, I know, but it's like, I don't know, I just get, like, a elitist vibe from people that shop at Trader Joe's, and not that I think Hobie's an elitist.
Oh my god.
I just think, like, he, like, is, like, iconic and would shop at Trader Joe's.
Maybe.
Okay. Okay, this one's funny.
Am I going first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which member would you see working the drive-thru at McDonald's? Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Taeyoung and Jimin.
I was gonna say Taeyeon and Jungkook. It's literally Macnalon. Like, the three of them would do it together. And it would be so funny.
They would, like, yell at each other when, like, one person, like, messed up the window and, like, one person, like, took the orders. They'd be like, you're not fast enough. They would
Like,
totally
getting
lie.
the BTS meal.
They would totally lie and say the ice cream machine was broken. Because they would get it, like, lazy.
That's funny. Okay, this one's good, too. I'm answering first. Which member would send you their fan cams at 3 a.m.? 3, 2, 1, Jin.
I was gonna say Jin, too. 'Cause he's always like, I'm so handsome.
Worldwide handsome. Okay. This one's good too. Which member, you're going first. Which member is least likely to be able to help you in college? 3, 2, 1.
Taeyoung.
I don't know.
That's like,
I didn't think would
which one's
answer.
the dumbest, but I don't think he's dumb. I just think what I'm studying in college, he would not be helpful for.
Yeah, maybe Tay. I don't know. I don't know, actually.
Also,
I feel like, to be fair, none of them would help me in college.
Yeah, I also feel like I just said Tay because, like, I didn't have an answer, and, like, that was the first thing that popped in my head.
No,
because,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
my heart.
Yeah. Okay. If you could only invite one member to your wedding, who would it be? Okay. 3, 2, 1, Jungkook.
Tay, because he's the groom.
I knew you were going to say that. But I would say Jungkook because I want him to sing at my wedding.
Oh, that's good.
And he would, like, come. Like, he would be there, you know?
Would he?
Well, if I asked.
Oh, okay. He's just there. He's just like, oh, hey.
Okay, which member would you dance battle against? 3, 2, 1.
June or Jin? Jin's the worst, so I could maybe win.
I would dance it against Hobie, even though I would totally lose, but I don't care.
I'm not there to embarrass myself more than I need to. Me already trying to dance battle anyone.
No, I want to see you and June dance battle. That would be funny for some reason. I don't know
That's
why.
what I'm saying. June or Jin. One of the two.
Yeah.
I have the best shot that way.
If you are stuck in an elevator, which member would be the best to be with? Not to help save you, just to hang out with. Okay? 3, 2, 1.
Hobie or Taeyang?
I would say Jungkook.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, you just want to pick your bias so you can hang out with them. But also, I think Hobie would, like, he'd be like, let's make it fun. Like...
Yeah, he'd bring up some fun games.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm lost. Okay. This one's kind of mean, but we're not trying to be mean, okay? I go first?
Yeah.
Okay. Which BTS member is not allowed to meet your family? Oh my god, mine. Okay, 3, 2, 1, Taeyang.
Wait, why?
Because he would just be like, I don't know. I don't have an explanation. But, I mean, I would love him to meet my family.
I honestly don't know. I literally don't have an answer.
It's okay. This is kind of similar to the wedding one, but it's fine. If you could celebrate your birthday with one member, who would it be? 3, 2, 1.
Taeyang.
Jimin. I feel like Jimin would make you feel so special on your birthday.
Oh yeah, Jimin loves a birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, he would take me shopping and to, like, dinner.
Yeah, that's true. That's cute.
But also, like, my bias drinker. Who is most likely to nonstop quote TikToks? This is me.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I feel like none of them. Okay. 3, 2, 1, Jungkook.
I was thinking Hobie.
Yeah. Hobie and Jungkook. They would definitely do it together.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this one's good. Which BTS member would you let dye your hair? 3, 2, 1.
Namjoon?
I would say Yoongi.
I think...
Don't know why, but I just feel like...
I just want someone who's, like, responsible.
Yeah.
Like, the rest of them would, like... Like, Jim and Jungkook and Taeyang would just be like, yeah, whatever. Like, we'll just do whatever. Whereas I feel like the other ones would maybe be like, I'm gonna try and make it look good. Like, no promises, but...
Okay, and last one. This is a pretty good one. Okay? You answer it first, though.
Okay.
Which member of BTS is most likely to have a live, laugh, love sign in their house? Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Jimin or Hobie?
Jin.
Oh, you're so right. You're so right.
I also feel like Hobie would too, though.
Yeah.
I honestly could kind of see it in all of their houses, but, like, especially
all of them
Jin.
except Yoongi and Namjoon.
Yeah, I agree. But I think Jin would definitely have one.
I can't. Jin is such a good...
Isn't that a good question?
That was good.
Yeah. Okay. That was all for this little game. I think it was very fun. It was fun to, like, change the vibe up of the podcast a little, you know?
Yeah. Since we've been going for a while, I think now we just want to go into our bias segment of the week.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to start, or would you like me to go first?
I'll start.
Okay.
The other day, Sid and I were on FaceTime discussing what we were going to talk about on the podcast, and she was like, make sure to pick a bias. And I was like, oh, right. And I was, like, trying to think, and she was like, I have mine already. And I was like, okay, well, obviously don't tell me. And I was trying to think, and I was like, we really should have changed this to where we picked the least favorite thing of the week, because the only thing that were coming to mind to me were, like, horrible things. But nevertheless... That's not what it is, I promise. It's going to be, nevertheless, I found one. And this is also actually related to Sydney, and she's going to instantly know what it is, and, like, understand, but it is heating pads. So, for the longest time, I would always use my mom's, or whenever Sid was home, their heating pad whenever I, like, had a stomachache or whatever. And I always thought they were great. Like, they always did the job. They heated me up. It was great. But then Sydney got one, and she, like, used it also as just, like, a heater. And so she would always put it on her back because she always has back problems. And then she would just, like, leave it on and, like, warm her bed up. And when she was cold, she would use it. And she would always tell me, like, dude, get in my bed, like, the heater's on, you know, and all this stuff. And I'd be like, okay. And she's like, you really need to invest in, like, a heater and, like, or heating pad. And I was like, okay, like, yeah, I mean, I'll get one eventually. Because I always, like, steal my mom's, but sometimes my mom is using it, and so I can't steal it. And so then I think I got some money for Christmas, and I bought myself a heating pad. And at first I, like, didn't really use it, but now I'm using it, and it's changing the game. Especially it's like really cold this week, and I also have been having, like, some cramps, and so was using it for that, and then I, like, started putting it on my back, and, like, I've been warming my pillows up before I get into bed, and normally I like a cold bed, but because it's so cold outside, and, like, the air is cold, I want it to be warm, and so I've been warming it up. Oh my god, it is so nice. And the thing is now, like, a 4 is not even warm to me. I needed, like, a 5 or a 6 to, feel the heat, you know, and that is so bad. I know, but and then sometimes I just start sweating, and I'm like, okay, I need to turn it off. But it does its job 100%, and it's great.
I'm very glad you've seen the light with this.
Mm-hmm.
It has been years that I've been telling Madi, like, heating pads are the best. They're multi-purposeful, like, can use them for all different things, and they're easy to, like, take places.
Mm-hmm.
Which is nice. You can, like, move them, like, if you're going in a different room, take it, move it, you know? I take it when I travel places, like, it's just my comfort item, so. That's a good one.
Thank you.
Alright, so my bias of the week is actually, once I say this, you'll know what it is, but it's a song that I probably listen to at least, like, 3 hours a day, like, just on repeat, the same song. Like, if I'm doing schoolwork, I'll just, like, put it on.
I actually don't.
And
I know what it is.
And it's called Dream Number 24, and it's by the artist.
That is so funny that I said nevertheless. I didn't even know what yours was.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
So it's in this K-drama that I'm obsessed with that we might talk about on, like, a podcast coming up, but it's on the soundtrack of that, so that's how I found it. And I listen to it all the time. It's so good. I don't know what it is about this song, but it's like addicting. Like, there's something in it that's, like, so good. And it has, like, English and Korean in it. And, like, the beat is just so good. And every time I listen to it, I think of the scene it's used for in the K-drama. And it's just, like, it just sucks me in. And I'm just, like, this song is just amazing. Like, normally I get sick of songs if I play them so much. But, like, I will just continuously play this song. And I love it because it's, like, not super slow, but not, like, upbeat. It's, like, that, like, cool, like, sexy kind of jam song. And it's just so good. So, Dream Number 24 by Rio on Spotify. Listen to it. So good.
Yeah. I also want to say, Sydney has watched this drama so many times and I watched it too, but I made a joke saying nevertheless because I was just, like, making a joke being like, oh my god, yeah, Sid watches this drama all the time, and I did not even know that was going to be your bias of the week. Like, it had something to do with nevertheless. That's really funny. Didn't we do something like this the other day? Oh, we can't talk about it.
We're not. I was going to bring that up, but we're not talking about that.
Never mind, we can't talk about that. Anyways, me and Sydney are, like, I know I've said this before, but I'm basically, like, Cindy's the blueprint and I'm the replica. But we have things where, like, we will, like, text each other the same tweet, but at the same exact time, and we're both like, oh, well, this is awkward. Or, like, we say the exact things at the same exact time, and we're like, oh, this is awkward. And we had a really crazy one the other day, but we can't talk about it.
That one was actually scary, to the point where I was like, I think you're living in my brain.
But, yeah. So, yeah, that's pretty crazy. We are just one, and that's why we have a podcast.
Exactly.
But we hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We hope the quality was a little better, and the audio and visual stuff. Once again, check out our YouTube. I also am going to start making Instagram. I promise I will. And where we can post, like, snippets of the podcast and stuff on that. So check that out. And yeah, I think that's basically it.
Yeah, I would say so. This one was fun. I enjoyed this one.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I liked having, like, not a real topic and us being able to, like, you know, go around.
I mean, to be fair, we did talk about the Olympics for like 40 minutes, but yes.
But it was fun.
No, it was good.
I love the Olympics.
Alright, so we will see you guys, see you guys. How do you...
Here? I don't know.
You will hear us. We will...
You will hear from us.
Yeah, you will be hearing from us in a week.
Yeah.
So, alright.
Alright, bye.
Bye.